Edel, 2 matches in the championship. How do you feel it's gone overall?
I think we've probably executed some stuff that we said we were going to go after. So like creating opportunities, scoring tries, which I think we have been successful in those last 2 games. I suppose it's the clinicalness, the discipline that let that Italy one slip away from us and maximising where we were in territory, because as a game as a whole we had quite a lot of possession, a lot of territory in the right areas. It's just that execution and that clinicalness that we still need to chase and go after, but I think we've been growing well as a squad. Yeah. You've
been around the squad for a few years now. How much are you enjoying this environment to work in compared to the others in the past?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, like I have always enjoyed being here. Like I think the player to player camaraderie has always been there. It's always quite special to play for Ireland and being with the girls. I think the difference this time round is that two-way player to staff relationship and cohesiveness into creating an environment that's the best for us and our performance. I think that's been a huge change, I suppose, in this current era of Scott. Yeah, it's always been a privilege to be here and to play for your country, but this time around it's nice to have a voice and an input into how we want to shape that.
You obviously started against France in the second half. Ireland scored some tries, looked pretty positive. The next week you were out of the squad in total in general. How big a disappointment was that for you? Yes, it's all about the team, but in your career, how hard was that to take for you?
I've been on the wrong side of selection here and there through my career. So yeah, it's disappointing to not get selected. Like, this is every single player that comes into this environment wants to put their hand up, wants a jersey, wants to compete. But like, I had a good conversation with Scott and the staff and what I needed to go after in the week, even leading into the game and the break week off. And it was my job to park that aside and put the team first and prepare them for that Italy game. Like, I still continued my duties alongside Sam because I felt very confident in the team that was going out anyways to get a good performance against Italy. But yeah, it is about the team and taking on what your work-ons are, accepting the selection as it is and putting your hand up the next way for selection again.
Did it remind you that no one's place is ever safe in an Irish jersey or any international match?
I think you always have to be competing, and I think that's a good reflection of where the environment is at, that yeah, no spot is safe, but in a reasonable you have to have confidence as well, and that's the point as well. But yeah, it's a good reflection of where the team is at, where we're competing at. And yeah, you always got to keep chasing those performances.
I know you were watching it from the side, but what did you like about the Italian performance?
The territory, which I kind of mentioned earlier, we were playing in the right areas. We looked exciting. We were stretching them width to width. We were getting wingers on ball, getting back rows out in the edges on ball. We looked like we were ambitious in our attack, and that's like from last season to this season. It's those opportunities. We're creating opportunities to score. So yeah, that was probably what I enjoyed most about that game.
Executing under pressure, how do you try and improve that in training? I suppose that's the $1 million question. Scott talked about confidence. Mm-hmm. Confidence still seems quite high in the group. Yeah. But how do you get those skills working perfectly at the weekend against Wales? Or maybe not perfectly, but better?
Yeah, I think that's the honesty part that we've probably been going after in the last 2 weeks, is like, so self-reflection as a team and a cohesive unit, but also like the individual reflection of the honesty, be like, yeah, that was my bad, or and that's into the analysis. So going after, okay, what could have, if that pressure skill was under pressure and it leads to handling error, was it a bad mistake, or was it the right execution? Was the thought process right before? Could you get yourself into a better position to make sure that doesn't happen again? And then how we go after it in training, so applying that same pressure, whether that's in the warm-up, in those like 5-10 minute block, that we go after those skills, so that when we put ourselves under pressure in training, that we're executing it. So I think the self-accountability, that we're going after these things and applying it into our team sessions.
Is there anything you feel as a co-captain that you have extra responsibility in regard to that area?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's kind of gauging. I think we're always, not only myself and Sam, but like our player performance group, that we're always assessing the mood of the group and seeing when, getting that balance between honest and building confidence. So I think that's definitely something that you're always conscious of.
Big news this week, I suppose, or last week, Cliona Maloney involved in the squad. You live with her.
Yeah.
I can see the smile on your face.
It's
You're
funny,
buzzing to have her back in.
People have done their research well. Our word has got out, yeah. Very excited to see Clee come in. Obviously, like you said, I live with her, so I've said it before, but see what she does week to week, day to day, how she lives, breathes rugby, and how passionate she is for the game. So I'm just really excited to see her back involved.
What do you think? I know she's got experience, great ball carrier, great line out time. It seems to have all the attributes this Irish team needs, but what's her biggest value going to be over the next couple of weeks, do you think?
I think for a group going forward, like she, as much as she's probably slotted in and got on with her own business, I think she'll add a lot of value and leadership to players. She's a good knowledge of the game, and I think she'll probably drip feed that into players' confidence, players come to her for questions and stuff like that, and she'll start to share that. I think that would be a big piece, but also just the competition that she brings in as well, the aggression, the assertiveness around the park, the leadership skills. It'll only bring our training on, and that's what we need as well.
Wales on Saturday. They aren't exactly settled at number 10, Craigie George, who's coming in for Eleanor Snowshill, who's retired. Do you see that as a focus, particularly as a back row, to get in amongst her early on and unsettle her?
Yeah, I suppose she does run the ship in Wales, and having watched the last two games, she orchestrates quite a lot. So yeah, I mean, naturally, I think everyone goes after 10s, don't they, in every game plan, because a 10 working well is a team working well, and they are the heart of managing a game. I suppose I've been fortunate to play against Clakey in the Premiership. She plays with Gloucester and she runs a good ship there. So yeah, I'm sure it'll be definitely something in the game plan.
The last couple of years you've been outpowered by Wales, I think it's fair to say. Is that something that's been talked about by Scott this week?
You know, it's funny, because the last time I played Wales, there was a very tight score. It was in the RDS 2 years ago. The year before that was a different story altogether. So even though maybe last year, yeah, you might say we were outpowered, but historically the fixtures haven't been the case. We know their threats. Their power game is their threat. They get most of their tries from set piece. So yeah, we've got a plan on how we want to target that and take away their super strength.
As far as most coaches say, everything's about the process, and players would say process driven leads to wins.
Yeah.
But how vital is it you get a win over the next couple of weeks?
I think it's important for us to chase that. I think we have seen in the France and in the Italy game, you know, on reflection, there was absolutely more opportunities that we could have gone for. So yeah, if we had sticked on the process, we had opportunities where we could win those games, or should have won those games. I think we're on the right trajectory of chasing that process, sticking with the game plan to then chase that win.
Is that the game plan this weekend, or going to be still sticking to that pattern of using the ball and going wide?
We have looked, I suppose, at game by game how we go after each of them. We'll tweak little things that we do, what we maybe start off with, what we look to target, where do we see the weaknesses are. So without giving away too much, I suppose maybe we might see a little bit of a similar pattern, but I think we're still going to continue to be ambitious in our attack and chase that. And
finally, you're sitting at home in 4 weeks' time when the campaign's over. What do you see as a success?
I've said it again, the World Cup qualifications and chasing that, performances will be key to how we go about that, our business in that, and where we sit in the table, and the results will reflect on that. But as a whole, it's the qualification for the World Cup is in 4 weeks' time. If we can say, yeah, we're in a good spot here, that'll be an achievement for us.
Great stuff, Edel, and all the best at Virgin Media Park this weekend.
Thank you very much.